Hi folks, it's Michael here again, the Next Step Woodcraft tutor into week 3 of the lockdown, and as you can see my beard has got a bit longer. But anyway, what I was going to do this week was show you the piece that I was finishing off during we started it last week, small coaster with matchsticks on it, and I managed to complete it. It did take a bit of time, but it's all done now, so I'll show you that. Then we're going to do a bit of work using some coloured matchsticks. I've coloured some matchsticks up, and we'll use that and we'll try and make a piece then. And finally, there's a surprise. So week 3, we've got a bit of a surprise at the end, so look out for that. Bye. So folks, here is the piece that I started last week, and now you can see that every part of the cardboard has been covered over. Remember, it started off life as a Lidl's deluxe chocolate biscuit box, and so the matchsticks were laid, and every piece is filled in. You'll see that we've got some small pieces there and filling in that space. There's pieces running at an angle this way. There's pieces running that way, along here, down there, across the middle that way, and yeah, so that's it. I've put a varnish on it, a satin coat of varnish, and now I think it would stand up to test, so there we go, laying it down and putting a cup on it. So it works. It works. There you go. I'm just putting it to the side. You can see quite a nice thing to make. So there you go. Now, to try something a bit different from using the plain, unpainted, uncoloured matchsticks, I thought I might try and put a bit of colour onto them. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make up some red and some green, some pink and some green acrylic paint. So I'm just going to squeeze some out of here into the tube, into the plastic cup. And this was quite cheap stuff, again from Lidl's. It was about a fiver for quite a few big tubes. So I'm going to thin it down with some water because the paint would otherwise be too thick. And what I want to do is actually put the matchsticks right into the coloured water, really. Now, give it a good stir up so it's all the thick paint is dissolved now with the water. So I'm now going to just tip the matches in there and give it a little swirl around. Now I might have made that too thin, but we'll just see. I'll just let them be in there for a little longer, and we'll do some green at the same time. So let these pink ones stain away. I'll just give them a brush of a bit of a wipe, and then we'll try the green. So take the cup and put in some green paint this time. I'm going to put in a little less water, I think, because we'll be left with plenty of thin paint afterwards. So a little less water that time. and give it a mix. What I really wanted was for the brushes to be sort of soaked into the green paint, but we might just swirl them about and see where that gets us. That should be it all mixed now, and then we'll just tip in some of the matchsticks, and again give it a bit of a swirl around. Right, we'll just leave them in there for a little while and take them out later and we'll let you see them. Okay. Now if you don't have paint at home, what you might have, or what you probably will have, will be one of these, a tea bag. Now what I'm going to do is put that tea bag into this cup of, well it's not a full cup of boiling water because I don't need too much of it, and I'm going to make a sort of a coloured dye with this. Sometimes people would take a sort of a scroll and they would dye it in tea or coffee even to give a sort of antique effect. So I'm just making that sort of tea there, and I'm going to just put some matches into there, and we'll use them as well. And these should be a more subtle colour. Now we're going to leave them in there with a tea bag, and we'll come back to them, and hopefully they're turned out to be a kind of a nice darker brown colour than the pale white matchsticks. So we'll take a piece of cardboard again as we did before, this time from a pizza box. And I'm just going to cut it into a shape on which we can do our work. I'm just cutting off the side flaps, which will then leave us with a nice flat area on which to work. And I'm going to leave it this size because then when we're finished our piece we can trim the cardboard down so we get rid of the excess then. So there we go, that's what we're going to work on. And here are the matchsticks which I've coloured up before. The pink ones, the green ones, and the tea coloured ones. So we'll make a pattern with these. I'm just going to... Right. So they're nice and dry now. They've been left to soak overnight and so on. I'm not going to use the tea ones for this. The tea ones are really a nice subtle colour, and they'll be a lovely contrast to the unpainted ones. Quite subtle, but I think they'll work quite well. For this project I'm going to use the pink and the green. Well, we're going to try and make a simple kind of cross shape. So I'm going to spread some glue in a cross shape just in the middle of the cardboard. And we'll start off with some blank or unpainted pieces. Now I'm going to, yeah, that's right, I'm going to leave a small space right in the very centre, because if I don't, they're going to be out of true. So yeah, you see, if I put them in closer, then that'll be a different shape, that'll be a different size. So I'm just moving them exactly out so they're all the same width. Now I'll put some more glue on and we'll just work away. Now my idea is I'm going to have pink on one side, right there, and the green on the side, with a hope that it's going to become a bit three-dimensional. Pink, and green, alternating. We're getting that kind of stepped appearance there right in the middle. Pink and green. Now I'm going to do this without it being on the camera because it's not that exciting to watch. So I'll come back to you in a few minutes. I thought I'd give you a bit of an update as we're going on here. So it's alternating green and pink all the way around, and what I did was I just cut the heads off the matches. Now I didn't measure anything, so there was a couple of times when I discovered that the match was the same length as the one beside it. This one was kind of banana shaped, slightly bent, and these ones were slightly short. So as you do it, you just realise where you should be going next. So there's our green one then, and as long as you remember to alternate, and then you get the stepped effect. Okay, we'll come back to it when it's finished, I think. Now I'm edging the whole piece with the paler matchsticks, as I said. What I'd done before was to just take in the matches originally and cut off the heads, and that gives you a certain length. Now that's the length I've been using. When you use that length there to go around the edge, it comes to the normal place, the stepped effect. But when you then put the piece going at an angle like this, it's a small bit short. Actually, this one's not too bad, but some of the previous ones were quite short. So what I had to do was to take, see, that is a little short there, right in the corner. So what I've done there is I've taken a new match and I've scraped off the head. That one's a bit deformed at the end. Some of them are, you know, they're not dead straight. And so let's take another one out of the box. Just push the head off it like that. And then that gives us an extra 3 or 4 millimeters, and that's now going to be perfect. Sorry, the other way round. This piece will go there. Gives it a bit longer, and then the cross piece will go there, and we can make a nice neat corner there. So I'll just do that just now. I'll stick that down, stop it there. So that's a nice longer piece in there. Then I'll put the next piece to go up the side like that, and I'll just use that to mark where I cut it. And there, that gives me a nice neat edge. I'll be able to stick that piece in there. And then we're just about finished. So when I've got that piece in there, I then just use it, cut the knife in the same line as down there. And that makes a nice sharp point. And then I can do the same over this side. I've already got the long matchstick there. That will go down there. Trim it to size. Get rid of that small piece, very small piece. Glue down there. And then put that piece into place. What have I done? It seems to be a small bit short. So I'm going to kind of cheat and just trim a wee bit of this there. And that should be perfect now. Do I have glue on this? Maybe Not enough. A bit more glue. Put it into place. And finally, trim across here to give us the point. So there's our finished piece, and all I'm going to do now is use the Stanley knife to cut round the edge, and there we'll have it. And it may be something that you could use as a bit of a wall decoration, or put it on a flat surface. Again, it's kind of coaster. Maybe a vase on it or something like that. Now for the final project today, I'm going to do a frame, picture frame, and I'm going to use some of the tea coloured matchsticks here and a mixture of the tea and the plain. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make I've used card which is a bit thicker than the boxes we've been using before. Picture frame needs to just be able to stand up a little, so that might be the best place to start with that. So this card you maybe find in a shoebox, or maybe something a bit thicker than that. I'm sure you'd find something lying about. Anyway, I've marked the middle points all the way around, and I'm going to do a little design here and then go around it with the plain matchsticks, the uncoloured matchsticks. I won't finish it today. I'll show you next week, but I'll make a start anyway, and you can see what I mean. So I'm just going to put some glue here, and what I'll do for this is I'm going to just put a piece across like that, and then I'm going to put a couple of plain pieces down either side, and we'll just see where this goes. Then just roll that into place. Sometimes the matchsticks aren't purely square; they're kind of off, you know. They're but so I'm going to use another one. I've planned here, I think. That's better. It's less of a roll than that one. So that goes in there. Then I'm going to use another piece across here. Now I'm going to just work away at this and come back to you, so that again we're not watching, it's like watching paint dry, which wouldn't be very exciting. So I'll come back to you and hopefully it's all kind of explained. Well, there's a start made to our frame with a little sort of triangular shaped piece. We'll have one here, we'll have one at the bottom and top and side. I'll have a little something in the corner as well. And you can just see the difference between the darker tea stained wood and the plain white wood. Now, yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Now back to our coloured star, and I've just cut round the edge and making the final cut now using the Stanley knife, and there we have it. And you could probably take a coat of varnish, but it would be something quite nice. Have it on a tabletop with a vase on it. Now, I said that there was going to be a surprise, and the surprise is, wait a second, the surprise is this. Coloured matchsticks, pre-coloured matchsticks, 2,000 for €2.95. So no cutting off heads, no colouring in the paint, but just go and get some of these. And Mr. Price, I believe, does have them, and I know we got these at the Eurostar in Eurogiant in Skibbereen. Also, the other thing is plain matchsticks, 2,000, heads off them already, and so there's no laborious cutting away. So that's it. Charlotte went and discovered these, and that's going to save me a lot of time in the future, and so that's perfect for the job. So don't be buying any more boxes of matches and cutting the heads off them like I did, but just go and get yourself a bag of these. Now finally, just to say that the frame that we're working on, I'll complete that for next week, and that'll be something to look forward to. Yeah. Okay, all the very best till then. Look after yourselves. Cheers now. Bye.